Having a big following is great, and it can make you a lot of money, but it's not the only way to make money as a creator. Some of the biggest creators in the world with the biggest followings and the most subscribers are not the ones making the most money. And I've even seen small creators with under 10,000 followers making a six-figure income. I myself make multiple six figures a year from my personal brand deals, companies that I own, and that all stem from my social media following. And I have just over 8,000 subscribers. So today I want to share with you some of the tactics that I use to make this kind of income without having a giant following. And if you are someone who does have a good size following, these are also going to be some tips that you can utilize to make even more money. I've broken it down into 3 key pillars: content style, content topic, and monetization strategy. Starting with content style, this is a simple supply and demand principle. If you're in a niche with a ton of people posting the same kind of content in the same style, you're now just one of many. And there's no way to stand out. There's nothing that makes you unique. Now, let's say, for example, a brand comes to you and offers you a sponsorship. If you don't like the terms that they put forward, they're going to say, okay, well, I'll just go find somebody else, because the type of person that you are online, they're a dime a dozen. I can find someone else who will agree to it. And even if you post a video around a certain topic, chances are there's going to be 15 other people creating the same content in the exact same style. So if you're a new creator, people are less likely to click on your video and more likely to click on someone else's video that has double the views already. It's going to be really difficult for you to break out. And if you are bigger and established, it's going to be really difficult for you to get more views than what you're already getting. So what I did was take a different approach. My main channel is in the e-commerce space, and the e-commerce space is known for flashy lifestyle, young kids, streetwear, flexing their penthouse apartment and their car in their videos. So what I did to be able to stand out was I talked about the exact same topics, but in a different setting. I spoke about it in a professional environment. I dressed nice. I made sure my lighting was really good. I made sure the background looked professional. And the entire video had really high production value. Doing this allowed me to stand out in a world where e-commerce creators were a dime a dozen. So when somebody did watch my videos, they immediately felt like, you know what? This is a little bit different than what I'm used to. My content style wasn't something that they had seen before. And because of that, I didn't need a ton of views on every single video to start gaining a loyal following and get subscribers. It also allowed me to stand out to brands who were trying to come to me for brand deals. Because in the same way that my audience would watch a video and realize they were watching something a little bit unique, so did brands. And if they wanted that specific content style around that topic, I was one of, if not the only people that they could go to. Now, this wasn't a content style that I just made up as I went along. Lucky for me, this is just who I am. I'm not really someone who likes to flex the fancy cars and the lifestyle and all that kind of stuff. So instead, I just continued to be who I am. And this same principle can be applied regardless of what niche you're in. Whether you're an established creator or you're someone who's trying to break out in the space, if you're doing what everyone else is doing, you just blend in. And eventually, the supply of content creators making that style of content will outweigh the demand for it, and all of a sudden you have 200,000 people making the same content in the same style about the same topic. And that's where the concept that you're the only version of yourself comes in. You are what make you unique. So tell people, show people, what is it that makes you unique, and what is the spin that you have on a topic that you can use in your content. Your content style starts with your title, your thumbnails, the video location, the clothes that you're wearing, whether you're filming at daytime or nighttime. Everything plays into your unique content creation style. The next pillar is content topics. And when I got into the niche, there weren't that many people making content. So I was able to see a video, regurgitate the video idea, put just a little bit of my own spin on it, and it would get a bunch of views. But over time, once again, supply and demand took over. There was a lot more supply of that kind of content and those topics than there was demand for it, and so my views started to go down. So instead, what I did was take these topic ideas and use them as very general compasses as to what people wanted. Then I would figure out, what about the video did I not like? Was it the context that was given in the video? Was it the way the video was framed informationally? The way it was positioned with the title and the thumbnail? Or even just the overall sentiment of the video? Let's take, for example, 10 winning dropshipping products. This is a super common video in the space. Instead of just regurgitating that video again, what I did was take it and say, well, you know what? Why are we just giving people 10 random products and calling them winners? Instead, I'm going to take 3 products and I'm going to show somebody exactly how to market and build a brand around each individual product. The general principle of the video was the same. People want to know what to sell. But I was positioning myself in a very different way than anyone else is doing. And immediately when I started doing this, I realized that I was getting more followers for the same number of views than I would have gotten had I been posting a generic 10 winning product video. And the reason for that is because I was doing something that nobody else was. And that led to me getting a loyal following. On that same note, this is something that brands started to recognize as well. They'd come, they'd look at my content and immediately see that I was doing something a little bit different than everyone else out there. So if they wanted somebody that spoke in a more viewer-focused way, in a very professional way, I was the only person that they could go to. And I had that loyal audience. So when I did promote their brand, a ton of my followers would go and sign up. And to this day, many of the brands that I work with tell me that I have one of the highest conversion rates of any of the partners that they work with. This is something that would have never been possible had I just taken the same thing that everyone else is doing, regurgitate it, and try to be a carbon copy. And it's how I'm able to get brand deals for significantly more money than other creators that have, on paper, much larger followings than I do. And that's a great segue into pillar number 3, which is your monetization strategy. How are you actually making money from the audience that you have? The easiest way to do this is by getting paid directly from the platform. TikTok has a creator fund, YouTube has AdSense. The platforms basically pay you a percentage of the ads that they're running on the platform. But the issue here is that once again, it only takes into consideration the raw amount of views that you're getting and not necessarily the quality of those views. The next way to make money is by taking brand deals. And for a lot of creators, this is the thing that makes them the most amount of money. And brand deals are a great way to make money. You're able to get better compensated for the quality of viewers that you have, because oftentimes they're tracking the amount of signups that you have, and over time, as they see how many signups that you get, they're going to offer you more and more money. But there are a couple issues with brand deals. Number one, they're super inconsistent. Some months you might have a $10,000 month, the next month you'll have a $1,000 month. The other side with brand deals is that it can be a little bit difficult to be properly compensated for the quality of viewers that you have. Because normally when you work with bigger and bigger companies, they're going to have a maximum that they're able to pay you based on the number of followers and viewers you have. So someone with 100,000 followers is going to make more money than someone with 1,000 followers, even if that 1,000 follower person gets more signups. That brings us to the third monetization strategy, and it's the only way to build a real long-term sustainable income. It allows you to get paid for your viewership, the quality of those views, and it'll give you a consistent income. This is something that the biggest creators in the world have really just started to figure out, and that is by creating their own product line. Now, this is not merch. This isn't anything with their name plastered on it, but it's a company that they start and promote to their audience. Sometimes they're physical products, sometimes they're digital products, sometimes they're services, but this is the exact way that I was able to turn my relatively small following into a much larger income. Now, as I was saying, there's many different ways to do this, but the main goal is to build something that is truly yours, that you own. So when somebody comes and makes a purchase with you, you're not just making a small commission on that one purchase. They're now a customer for life, and hopefully, if you sell a good product, they'll come back and continue to buy more. A great example of this is Logan Paul's Prime. He's the face of the brand, but it doesn't say his name on the company. Or if you look at Iman Gadzhi, he has an eyewear line called Gadzhi, but he's rebranding it to something that doesn't include his name on it, because he too realized, wait a minute, I gotta start something that isn't directly tied to my name. So if your views go down or you decide you wanna take a break from creating content, you don't have to worry about losing all your income. Now, up until recently, you had to be somebody like Logan Paul or Iman Gadzhi with hundreds of thousands of dollars to put into research and development, buying products, warehousing it, shipping it, marketing, all these different expenses. But the cool thing is that a couple of years ago, I found a way to do this but without having to spend all that upfront money. It's basically a direct-to-consumer model where you only pay for the product when somebody actually makes a purchase. This is the exact same strategy that myself, people I work with, clients, this is what we've all been doing in order to make a stable long-term income, not have to rely on brand deals, but still make sure we're getting compensated for this high-quality audience that we've built. Now, I'm not sure if this is something that I should make an entire video about. If you do want an entire video about this, let me know down in the comments section, and I'll go into more detail, kind of do a deep dive into a few different niches and exactly some products that you could sell and how to do it. So to summarize this entire video, make sure that your content style is one that is unique to you, that your content topics, again, are unique to you and aren't just regurgitated. And lastly, make sure you're choosing a monetization strategy or multiple monetization strategies that allow you to be properly rewarded for the quality of viewers as well as the views that you're getting. If you do all that, you don't need to have 100,000 followers to make a full-time income. Trust me, I would know. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to go down below, hit that subscribe button, leave a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in the next video.